We're in the middle, the right side, middle of Daf Nun Beis Amud Aleph. Right in the middle, Savri Beis Shammai. So frankly, Gemara Kasha. Is it true? Savri Beis Shammai. That Tuna Kois, was it Tuna Kois? But Tanan, that's an assumption that you need to have a Kois for Birkas HaMazon. For Tanan, Bolem Yain La'achar HaMazon. So what happens if you get wine after the meal? Bishami says, you want to drink the wine, and then you do Birkas HaMazon. You don't need to use your kois for Birkas HaMazon. My love, it's because it would seem to imply, my love, you drink it. The answer is no, that's not what he's saying. He's just saying there's a different way of doing Birkas, of doing kois ala zimun, doing ala Birkas HaMazon. Like the Varach Iluya, you make a boy gafen. Okay, then you wait, you hold it, or you put it down, you hold it, and then you say Birkas HaMazon, and then you drink it. Similar to, like we do with Kiddush, you say boy gafen, and then you say Kiddush. It's the same thing. But here, I'm a Varach Tzorch. Well, you can't. Once you make a bracha, you should drink it. You're interrupting. She says yes, and Echanami. Interesting shita. The timeline. That whenever you drink a cup of wine, it becomes pogrom. It means you invalidate it to use for a kosher bracha afterwards. So the Gemara says interesting eitzah. The toyim le biyodei. There's an eitzah. There's a way out of it. It doesn't. Mitzarach you made a bracha and you have to drink it. On the other hand, but you want to continue to use it as a kosher bracha. So what do you do? So the answer is, if you're holding it and there's no wine on your hand, and even on a kol shul you have to make a bracha, so you can taste, as long as you taste the wine on your hand, so that's called making a bracha, you drink it, so that's okay, you do that. Sometimes by a wedding, so you make a boy pregofen, and I can do this, some people do it by the bris also, but you make a kosher bracha, and there's a little reason. There's a shaila. Who the mavarach is, who makes the kosher bracha by the wedding? Is it the person who makes the bracha, or is the chassan? So usually make the bracha and just give it to the chassan, but so those that are makbid to take a little bit of the wine with their hand, basically, like that's also drinking kosher bracha. Yeah. So the Gemara says. But you need to drink a mother lugmov, or a shiur, whatever the shiur is. So, I'm sorry. No, the question is, you need a shiur. You need another mother. You need to have a revius in the kais. And in other words, you're drinking it before. You're taking it with your hand to drink it without being pugiment. And now you're continuing on to Birkas HaMazon to have it as a kosher bracha, but you took away from the shiur. You need a full shiur. The cup is missing. Now there's something left in the cup. There's less wine in the cup. You took out from the shiur. So the answer is the nafesh leitve. You had a full cup. And in fact, in the cup, there wasn't exactly revius. It was a little more than revius, so you're okay. Now, but that doesn't sound like what's going on, because the whole story was, what do you do if you only have one cup? Now, what halachically one cup means, you precisely have a revius. So the Gemara says, no, that's not exactly what it means. The tray lohavi, umichad nafesh. One cup doesn't mean precisely the shiur. It means no. You have a little more than one cup. You don't have two cups. You can only make one kosher bracha. So you have to use it the way. That's just the way you have to use it. Effectively, Gemara v'atagim chia v'shami oim v'vorach al yayin v'shaseyu. So here it's explicit. You do drinking. V'achar kav v'vorach birkas hamazon. So here it's very clear. That here he says that you don't use it. He doesn't care about birkas hamazon. He doesn't care about kosher bracha. You just drink the wine beforehand. So you're right. You're right. We have to say this. You're right. Our brayso says b'shamai is a kosher bracha, and this one does not. We disagree. Okay. Pay attention. There's a little few technical points we got to hit over here. I'm going to read it first. I'll read it for a minute, and then I'll make an introduction. What is the order? You wash your hands. Now, interesting. In other words, he says, coming to get a meal. So he actually says, you wash your hands first, and then you drink your cup of wine, and then you'll continue to make hamotzi. That's b'shamay shita. Moi's going to say, kois. Now, why? Obviously, the Chazal, let's get some things clear here. Chazal instituted that a person, before he eats bread, has to wash his hands. Gemara in Chulin explains, Srach Truma, since to eat Truma, you have to make sure your hands are not. Chazal, let's explain one other thing. Why do you wash your hands before bread? Right? So it starts with this. Chazal made your hands into a tummy. As a protection to truma, since the hands touch things and this, and so we don't know, they could become tummy. Chazal decided your hands are tummy, so the hands are called tumas. Have tumas shnias. Okay, let me explain one thing. In the Torah talks about tuma. For example, for sheretz is like like some type of what's it called? Like a rat or something is a sheretz. A lizard, a rat, something more different. Little crawling things to get tummy. They die. They're dead, and they fall into food. So they're a tameh oichel. The shrotzim, the specific shrotzim, specific things on anything, whatever they are, the shrotzim. So that's an example. So now there are different levels in the Torah of how tummy is. There's what's called, there's the avatuma, and there's the vlada tumah. There's the result of the tumah. So the food becomes the result of the tumah. Now, the food thereby, or I should say, the sheretz is also a time of the kli. It could also be a time of a kli that holds food, also becomes tameh for the sheretz. Okay? Now, that's, as far as the Torah is concerned, that's what's tameh. Now, Chazal added other things that when that comes and touches something else, when that kli, we put other food into the kli, which is tameh, so that food becomes rishon l'tumah. And it's called sheni l'tumah, and that can pass it on to sheni, and then shlishi. Now, the thing is like this: there's no concept of sheni and shlishi in the Torah. There's a concept of maybe not even rishon. I don't remember. I'm not sure for rishon, but it's because that's only nogeh to truma. And the only thing, regular food, which is tameh, there's no problem with eating, unless you yourself. No, I think even there's no real problem with eating. The problem begins when it's truma, or when it's truma meiser, or when it's other things required to be taught. Okay, so we're going to discuss over here. So Chazal. So Chazal came along and said, "Don't." Well, now, when you eat bread, you have to say bread can also become tameh. Bread can could be also tummy. So if it's truma, the bread is truma, you have to be careful. Your bread shouldn't be tummy. Especially if you're a kohen, you're a kohen in truma, you can't eat tummy bread. So therefore, Chazal instituted, again, these are all drabanan, these are achokis, but they instituted you have to wash your hands and eat Torah to eat bread. Srach truma. Yeah, other reasons also, maybe why. But the bottom line is that's we wash your hands. Okay. So now let's go back to our sugya. So comes along Beis Shammai and says, before you drink the wine, wash your hands. And as Chazal, the general rule is Chazal don't want you to eat food which is in tummy. They don't want you having tummy hands and touching your food and making it tummy and eating it. So we wash our hands. So now Basil says as follows. Beis Shammai says as follows. So I have a concern of tumah. If you would drink the wine with your hands tummy, you know what can happen? It can happen as follows. Maybe what's going to happen is the water is going to spill a little bit on the back of the kais. You know, you have a kais, and sometimes the wine, whatever you drink, comes out. And your hands are tummy, because yadayim mashkiyas until you wash them, they're tummy. Yachzur v'yitamu as a kais. And then the kais will become tummy. And we're going to see that we're always concerned with the kais becoming tummy, because that could eventually make you more tummy. It'll make it, after you wash your hands, the kais will be tummy, and it will make you tummy again, and it's going back in a circle. So therefore, Beis Shammai's answer is, wash your hands before you touch the kais. Okay, we'll see more in a minute. Frankly, now gets a little bit into the reason. Okay, fine. You want to say, well, let's understand your reason. Why is it you have to worry about your hands, the wine, the time of your hands, the time of your dying, the kais? You're worried about your hands on top of the liquid, the wine. Why do you say your hands are tummy? So wash your hands, because otherwise you're touching the kais. So my answer is like this: Yadayim shnias, hands have a status of shnias. They're not tuma; they're only secondary tuma. So it's ve'ein sheni, it's a shlishi b'chulin, and therefore they do not affect the kais. Now they also don't, happens to be the kais also kli, and they don't affect the kli either. But this is one of the reasons. Okay. Elai de mashkin. In other words, if your hands, like over here, if they'll touch liquid, so then that's where the problem starts. The liquid becomes rishon, and the rishon becomes is matam the kli. Okay, that is Shittas Beis Shammai. Let's hear Beis Hillel. Beis Hillel says disagrees. He says the opposite. He says no. Moiskin is a kais v'achar. No, you dafka drink the wine first and then wash your hands. What? Because the problem is the opposite. Shima tanoma like l'dayim tchil gzeir shemitu mashkin shemidayim machmas a kais v'yachsav v'yitamus v'yadayim. What we're afraid is that you drink the cup first, because if you would wash your hands first and there'd be liquid on your hands, we're afraid that the liquid on the water on your hands will become tummy, because the kais is tummy, and then your hands will become tummy again. So you're going to go in circles. Right? So you wash your hands and then you touch the kais. The kais is dangerous. So don't use the kais until you don't wash your hands until after you drink the kais. That's Shittas Beis Hillel. So again, you're going to ask Beis Hillel, but then why are you worried about that? And Tamid kais l'dayim. So fine, just let's say the cup itself is going to be tamid the hands. No, again, ain't clean with tama adam. That's not true. That's not a problem. So now another problem. You're worried about the kli itself is tamid. That's your chashash. It could happen. You forgot to check your kalim one day, and you took out your kalim and you pour your kiddush, you pour whatever, you pour your wine, your glass of wine, and it's tummy. So, what do we worry about that? That itself will make the wine tummy, and that's the whole problem. It's like you don't want to eat tummy bread, you don't want to eat tummy wine. So, you should do a chur over it. No, we're not afraid of that. Of course not. Of course, nobody in their right mind is going to take a kli which is tummy and use it. That can't be. What we're afraid of is only that the back of the kli is tummy. That's what we're afraid of. The inside is completely tired. The outside of the kli is tummy. The tank is achurav mashkin achurav tmeim. Toich of oigel was on the other toe. You can have a kli where the outside is tamei, the inside is perfectly toyer. If the inside becomes tummy, then everything becomes tummy. Okay. So we have machlekes. Shammai says wash your hands first and then drink. And Beis Hillel says chas v'shalom. You're going to make the worst problems by washing your hands first and then taking the kais. You're only going to create problems for yourself. So what is the machlekes? B'may kamiflagi. It's a funny machlekes. So the answer is as follows. Shammai also ishtamesh b'klishin in u'achurav. Shammai says it is forbidden to use a kli, which is in u'achurav. B'mashkin, Shammai says yes. You have to be very careful not to get the kli tamei, because you cannot use a kli because we're afraid that stuff is going to spill. For lekel migzar Shema yitmu amashkin shevidayim b'kois. So what's going to happen? So it says, Shammai is going to say to Beis Hillel, listen, what are you afraid of? Again, Beis Hillel says, don't wash your hands. Why? Because if you wash your hands, you may make the kli tamei. Shammai says, okay. And what happens if the kli gets tamei? Nothing. So you got a tamei kli. So you take it to the mikveh and you put it in the mikveh. You're not going to use it. Well, no. What does Beis Hillel say? No, you're going to get tamei, and then you're going to drink it. You have your meal. And you're going to fill it up, and then you're going to put wine in it, and you're going to have tamei. Everything's going to be tamei for the kli. Or your hands will become tamei later for the kli. And Beis Shammai says, no, you're never going to use such a kli. That's not an issue. Nobody would use that kind of kli. Please. Beis Hillel sovereign. No, you might use it because it's only tamei on the outside. B'mashkin, imrin the tzaitis. Because why are you allowed to use it? Because the tzaitis lo shchichim. Worrying about the tzaitis is not a problem. So the only problem is v'ikol mechas shemi yitamu b'mashkin shebidayim machmas akois. So that's why he says we're afraid you might use it, and therefore don't wash your hands first because you might be mitama for your hands again. You might be mitama your hands again, right, with the kli before you again. So your hands will be automatically become mitama because again you might be very well using a kli which itself on the outside is tamei, and if you put water in your hands, you're gonna make tzara. So you mitama your hands. You're gonna make a shemi mitama mashka shirayim. Now there's another reason why Shammai says you should not wash beforehand. And that's a very simple reason, which is very negated to us. Take of the tiyus daim suda. We have a rule that you should wash and then eat the bread. So in Beis Hillel, in Shammai, you're interrupting. You're washing with the bread. You're washing and drinking a cup of wine, and then you're. So you don't do that. Why do you need a second reason? According to you, fine, I hear. You say you don't use such a kli. And therefore, what's the problem with washing your hands? It's still better to wash your hands afterwards because of the second reason of the take-up from the Netilas Yadayim. So even according to your reasoning, you should agree with me. Okay, I guess we'll stop here. We're a little bit behind. We'll stop here.